I want to go back to the Tennessee Bar Association. When your nomination was announced, and by the way, this was a deal that was worked out before the vacancy was ever announced. We heard about it from plenty of people in Nashville, that this is exactly what was going to happen, that the deal was done. And I'm sure you're probably aware of that. Weren't you aware of that?
Senator, I was not.
Okay, the Bar Association does note your work for workers' dignity. Did you ask them to correct that, since you've said you never worked for them?
I have not asked them to correct that.
Why did you not?
What you just watched is exactly why Senate confirmation hearings matter. This wasn't grandstanding. This wasn't theatrics. This was Senator Marsha Blackburn doing the job voters sent her to Washington to do: ask the hard questions, confront the contradictions, and demand straight answers from someone seeking lifetime judicial power. What stood out to me immediately is how calm, focused, and relentless Senator Blackburn was. She wasn't attacking personalities. She was attacking inconsistencies, evasions, and a lack of accountability. And frankly, those are red flags when someone is being considered for the bench. This hearing wasn't about politics. It was about judgment, integrity, and transparency. And in my opinion, Senator Blackburn exposed serious concerns that deserve to be exposed. If you're new here, welcome to Congress Lens. I'm Audrey, and on this channel, we break down congressional moments exactly like this. No spin, just scrutiny. If you value accountability in government, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Now let's get into the full reaction.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Judge Lopez, I appreciate your work on human trafficking. I was so disappointed looking at your sentencing record that you would go light on those criminals. Those of us who work in the human trafficking, child abuse areas, it is so disheartening to see judges who practice leniency on these criminals. Ms. Campbell, it's nice to meet you. You and I have never met, and Senator Welch, said the White House said we had interviewed her. We've never met, and no, we did not interview her, so we may want to correct the White House record on that. Ms. Campbell, have you ever been a judge?
No, Senator.
Do you mind using your microphone? And so you have no experience. You have appellate law experience, but no experience as a judge.
Senator, I have argued numerous times before the court.
Okay, but you have no experience as a judge. I want to go back to the Tennessee Bar Association. When your nomination was announced, and by the way, this was a deal that was worked out before the vacancy was ever announced. We heard about it from plenty of people in Nashville, that this is exactly what was going to happen, that the deal was done. And I'm sure you're probably aware of that. Weren't you aware of that?
Senator, I was not.
Okay, the Bar Association does note your work for workers' dignity. Did you ask them to correct that, since you've said you never worked for them?
I have not asked them to correct that.
Why did you not?
I wasn't aware that it said that.
Oh, so the TBA law blog is sent out, and you read it? I assume you read it? And did you note the inaccuracy? And did you ask them to correct it? Did they issue a correction? Please respond.
Senator, I do not recall reading that blog.
You don't recall reading it. So this deal was so cooked that she didn't even look at what the TBA law blog had to say when the nomination was announced. Let's go to this support for Odessa Kelly. And we've discussed that several times today. You've never been able to say why you chose to support her. And you were tagged in a Facebook post with her. So there is a reason you chose to make your largest political contribution ever to Odessa Kelly. And we have a list of tweets, Mr. Chairman, things that Odessa Kelly has said about this committee, positions that she has taken. So why would you choose to support Odessa Kelly when you knew what her opinions were? Because when people say things like that, it's not only in a tweet. We've got it on Facebook. We have it in other instances. So would you like to provide an answer on that? Senator Cruz asked you about that, and you never could say why you supported her. Do you align with her politically? Do you agree with her? Do you think that we are aligned with the devil? What would cause you to be right out there with your best political support and contribution for her?
Senator, as I said, I'm not familiar with those statements. I do not support.
So you never heard her indicate anything. What did you think you were supporting? What kind of agenda were you supporting when you supported her?
Senator, again, I'm not familiar with those particular statements.
You have to have, every candidate has a political ideology. Why would you give that support for someone who has made such statements? And let me ask you, go back to the workers' dignity, that work that you've done. Do you agree with them on abolishing law enforcement, abolishing ICE?
Senator, I'm not familiar with those statements, but I can categorically say to you that I disagree with those positions.
So you would not abolish ICE. Okay. The Tennessee Immigrant and Refugee Rights Coalition, and we have discussed this, and you're saying, I want you to say this for the record, so you are saying that they are lying when they say that you gave them advice and consent and help. Is that correct?
Senator, the manifesto that was referenced, I am not familiar with it.
So why would they think that they had depended on you for advice? And why would they note this? Did you ask them about it? Did you say, why are you referencing me and I had nothing to do with this? Did you talk to anyone?
Senator, until today, I did not know that my name was listed in one of their publications.
You had no idea about that. Well, do you agree with them? And I'm pulling this from a Fox 17 news report. TIRRC is calling on Metro Police to develop clear policies and refuse to help ICE carry out civil immigration enforcement in Davidson County. Do you agree with that statement?
Senator, I'm not familiar with that statement, and no, I don't agree with it.
You don't agree. Thank you.
After watching the entire exchange, one thing is crystal clear. Senator Marsha Blackburn came prepared, and the nominee did not. Let's start with the issue of human trafficking sentencing. Senator Blackburn opened by calling out Judge Lopez for going easy on traffickers. That moment matters. Human trafficking isn't a technical policy issue. It's one of the most brutal crimes imaginable. When a senator who works closely in child abuse and trafficking advocacy says sentencing leniency is disheartening, that's not rhetoric. That's lived experience speaking. Then we move to Ms. Campbell's qualifications, or lack thereof. Senator Blackburn didn't insult her. She asked a simple, factual question. Have you ever been a judge? The answer was no. And that's important, because when someone is being considered for a judicial role, experience isn't optional. Senator Blackburn was right to press that point, especially when the nominee's background is already being promoted with questionable accuracy. Which brings us to the Tennessee Bar Association issue. Senator Blackburn exposed a glaring problem: public records and professional write-ups crediting Ms. Campbell with work she claims she never did. Here's the problem: if those claims were false, why weren't they corrected? If you're comfortable letting inaccuracies stand when they benefit you, that raises serious questions about honesty. The most revealing part of the hearing, in my view, was the discussion around political donations, specifically Ms. Campbell's support for Odessa Kelly. Senator Blackburn wasn't asking about party affiliation, she was asking about judgment. Odessa Kelly's statements weren't hidden. They were public, repeated, and extreme. Senator Blackburn asked the obvious question, "What exactly were you supporting?" And time after time, the answer was, "I'm not familiar." At some point, "I'm not familiar" stops being an explanation and starts being an evasion. The same pattern continued with organizations like Workers' Dignity and the Tennessee Immigrant and Refugee Rights Coalition. These groups openly advocate policies like abolishing ICE or refusing cooperation with federal immigration enforcement. Yet Ms. Campbell claimed no familiarity with their positions, while those same groups publicly cited her as an advisor or supporter. Senator Blackburn did what any responsible senator should do. She put the statements on the record and demanded clarity. And when clarity didn't come, she pressed harder. This wasn't bullying. This wasn't unfair. This was oversight. Lifetime judicial appointments demand more than vague answers and selective memory. Senator Marsha Blackburn understood that, and she refused to lower the standard. Whether you agree with her politics or not, one thing is undeniable: she defended the seriousness of the role and the integrity of the process. And in today's political climate, that deserves recognition. That's my take here on Congress Lens. I'm Audrey. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.